Hello my dears, welcome to Vix Tarot Guidance. Welcome if you're returning and welcome if you're new, if you're just discovering this channel. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already and click the notification bell if you haven't already so you can be notified when I post next. If you're here interested in a personal video, a personal tarot reading for you, I have all the information about that also in the description box below this video and also in the comment section. You can find my email listed over there, so just send me an email if you are interested in a private personal tarot reading from me. Alrighty, so today we are going to be looking into divine feminine, divine masculine energies and connecting energies between these two aspects, these two dimensions, okay? We have three groups to choose from over here. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of how this is going to work. So we're going to be looking at the divine feminine energy on one side, divine masculine energy on the other, and then the connecting energy. So what is connecting these two aspects in the middle here? And basically how you can approach this video is you can approach both of these energies, so the divine masculine, divine feminine energy, as parts within you, as parts within yourself, to let you know what is maybe a little bit out of whack, what each part of you is thinking, what needs to be looked at, or which aspects, which things are coming to the surface through this tarot reading. Or as the second part, you can approach this as your current energy and how it is currently playing into or playing with the other energy of your person. So for example, if you resonate with a twin flame energy and you consider yourself a divine feminine, for example, you can approach this reading as your side of the coin, the divine feminine side, and then your person's side of the coin as the divine masculine side. This also works for soulmates or any type of really intense soul connections, which we often have here in our tarot readings, which we're often dealing with. So you can approach it that way, so as these two sides, and then also the connecting energy. So what is connecting you to your person here in the middle? Or the third thing, the third way you can approach this video is basically by incorporating both of these aspects. So the third approach basically considers aspect one, so considering and approaching this as parts within you and parts in the world. These two sides, the part one as approaching the parts and part two as approaching, something that's going out into the external dimension, in the external world environment. You can just approach this as one and the same thing as well. So it depends on you how you decide to approach this video, what type of meaning you are looking for here. So it can be approached externally, internally, or as both of these coming together, all right? Okay, so with that being said, let's now look into our groups. So for group number one here, we have the amethyst crystal, so this raw, beautiful amethyst for group number one. For group number two, we have the raw rose quartz crystal. This gorgeous rose quartz crystal for group number two. And for group number three, we have the citrine crystal here. So this raw, gorgeous citrine crystal for group number three. If you are already called to a particular pile, a particular group, feel free to jump into this video. I have the timestamps for each specific group listed down below in the description box. If you feel yourself guided to more than one group, that's also completely all right. That just means you have messages waiting for you in other groups as well. Since this is a general reading, do also be careful. Don't take everything as your own, but be careful with what resonates, with what is yours and with what is not, and take only what resonates for you specifically, all right? So with that being said, I'll see everyone in your chosen groups, and feel free to pause the video at this point if you feel like you need a little bit more time deciding which group is yours. Hello, my beautiful group number 1. If you picked the Amethyst crystal, or if something else entirely led you to this video today, this is going to be your tarot reading. As said in the introduction, this is going to be a reading into the energies of the Divine Feminine on one side, Divine Masculine on the other, and the connecting energies in the middle. You can approach this video as parts of you, as parts within you, or as parts external to you, so as yourself and your person. Take what resonates and take whichever approach is more suited to your current needs. So first of all, we're going to be using the archetype deck just to see which archetypes are sort of prevalent or showing up in each one of you or in each aspect. So first of all, let's look at the Divine Feminine. So this column, this is going to be the Divine Feminine. This column next to the Amethyst is going to be the Divine Masculine energy. All right, Spirit. So please, for the Divine Feminine energy, what's going on here for group number 1? For group number 1, we have here the Threshold. We have the Box. And we have the Sustainer. Okay, interesting. So it feels like the divine energy is a little bit blocked. It feels like there is, it's like it's being kept in a box or in a comfort zone. And it feels like it is wanting to sort of reach out of this or jump out of this, sort of break out of this even. Because all of these cards are giving me like images of something being closed off, something being sort of boxed in. This might be like as a habit or something like that, but also within this box, within this habitual self, something is burning. Something wants to come out, some type of a wild side, filled with sexuality here, filled with creativity, filled with passion, wants to come out and express itself. So to me, it feels like the Divine Feminine is not altogether happy. It wants to express itself here. It wants to express more of its essence through the archetype of the wild woman even, you know, through that creativity, through that feeling of not being held down, basically, of not being boxed in into a specific stereotype maybe, or into a specific like word, or into a specific concept. Okay, so it feels like the Divine Feminine is definitely out of whack here, because these two cards, they are all, or even all three, they're all pointing to more Divine Masculine aspects. So just does feel like the Divine Feminine here is attempting to be more masculine, which is not its true essence here. So the Divine Feminine is altogether really out of its own energy, out of its own essence, the way it is approaching the world. So let's see now for the Divine Masculine side of the coin. So please, Spirit, for the Divine Masculine energy for group number 1, please, what's going on in the Divine Masculine energy? What type of archetype is in the Divine Masculine energy here? Okay, that's too much. What's the Divine Masculine here doing? We have Gnosis, so knowledge. The Divine Masculine is deeply rooted in knowledge, in searching, in trying to understand. Let's see what else. We have the bridge. Okay, so the Divine Masculine is attempting to build this bridge, this understanding. I feel like this understanding, it's happening through communication or through some type of offer, through a gift offering or something like that. Let's see what else. What's going on in the Divine Masculine side of things? We have here the heart. Okay, so it's interesting. Like, we have the unseen as the bottom of the deck here. So what I'm feeling here, like the Divine Masculine is stepping up in a more open position. The Divine Masculine is opening up with the heart. The Divine Masculine is approaching this situation in a tender manner, through the heart, through understanding, through wanting to see your side of things. That, of course, meaning the divine feminine side of things, wanting to really feel into the divine feminine, wanting to understand the divine feminine, wanting to help the divine feminine. To me, this energy, it almost feels like, you know, when you get a new cat or something like that, and the cat is a little bit scared of the world and it just runs under the couch and it's sort of hiding there, and you sort of have to coax it out slowly with gifts, with food, with tenderness. And this is what I feel is happening in this group. The divine feminine is here like the cat, you know, a little bit afraid, a little bit frightened about what's going to happen if she does express her true essence, if she does step up into the world. And the divine masculine here is more in the energy of wanting to sort of bring this cat out, wanting to bring this energy out into the world, wanting to also communicate clarity, communicate love, communicate connection and intimacy to this being, to this cat, to this aspect. The divine masculine is definitely in this place of really wanting to just bridge any misunderstandings, any limitations, anything that might be holding you two back. And yeah, wanting to approach this situation, wanting to know more about this being, wanting to get to know this being, wanting to spend time with this being, with its true essence here, all right? So that's what I'm feeling into here. So let's see now the connecting energies. What's the connecting energy here, Spirit, please? What's the connecting energy? Okay. We have Eros. Ooh. Okay, so the connecting energy is passion. The connecting energy is love. The connecting energy is also the energy of polarity. Just that the polarity here is flipped, because the divine feminine here is presenting itself in like almost shadow masculinity, while the divine masculine is sort of, you know, reappropriating the energy in such a way that they are a match to this energy that the feminine is putting out. Basically, the divine masculine here, it's not in its true essence. It's not completely in the essence of really holding space. So it is almost like the divine masculine here is holding a little bit more feminine energy, and the divine feminine here is holding a little bit more masculine energy, but it's more in the shadow realm of this. Nevertheless, there is a lot of attraction because there is polarity on both sides. You know, the divine feminine, divine masculine, it does attract because there is this polarity, there's this difference. So there is a lot of passion, there is a lot of desire, there is a lot of wish to be together sexually here with Eros, I'm getting. Let's see what else comes through for group number 1, please, Spirit. Okay, so we have the ring. Oh, interesting. So with the ring here, the ring is representing connection. The ring is also representing wanting to settle down, wanting to have something more together, wanting to have something more lasting together, sort of wanting to set something down, you know, wanting to have something. So you're both coming up with strong sexuality, you're both coming up with wanting to be together, wanting to create something more lasting together here. So let's see what else comes through for group number 1. The maiden. Interesting, but you're both also being very tender with each other. I feel like when you are together, there is a specific energy that comes out, an energy of tenderness, of being very gentle with each other, being very gentle with your touch. That doesn't necessarily have to be the touch in the physical, you know, bodies touching. It can just be the emotional touch, the look into one's eye that lets you know that there is that connection, that I got you, that I love you. So yeah, there is like a lot of connection here. We have the unseen again as the bottom of the deck, so that's very, very interesting. So yeah, what else? Let's look at the tarot now. What tarot can tell us about this? What can tarot elucidate about this? Okay. So Spirit, please, for the Divine Feminine, what's going on here? Or rather, since we have the Divine Masculine deck here, let's just start with the Divine Masculine here. What's going on from the Divine Masculine type of energy? What's going on from the Divine Masculine side here? Okay, so a lot of cards coming out. We have the Keeper of Swords, and we have the Hanged Man reversed, and then we have Judgment, the Moon, the Hermit, and also the Five of Cups here. All right, so with the Keeper of Swords, with the Hanged Man here, this person, your Divine Masculine needs, or the Divine Masculine energy needs to gain some type of understanding, because the Divine Masculine seems like it's doing things, but whatever it's doing, it's not really creating any difference in the external world. The Divine Masculine energy also doesn't know how to communicate this, how to express this, or how to bring clarity to this energy. The Divine Masculine does, however, feel like they would want to communicate, they would want to express something, but it feels like they are lacking for words, what to express here, what can even be said here, because there is a strong lack of understanding with the Hanged Man reversed. Yeah, with the Hanged Man reversed, it does feel like there is some type of knowledge that should be gained through this knowledge here, still searching for knowledge, but that should be gained but hasn't been gained yet, and thus clarity is not here in the forefront either. We have Judgment reversed here, so yeah, clarity has not been gained, clarity has not been achieved in this connection. We have the Moon reversed. Also, you know, there is a great deal of fog, there is a great deal of misunderstanding currently happening on all levels of their existence, on all levels of this masculine's existence here, especially concerning this relationship. There is a lot of misunderstanding, a strong lack of clarity. We have the Hermit also coming up reversed. So this person, they might feel like, or this aspect of you might feel like it wants to sort of step away, it wants to just give you space, or it wants to maybe not be as involved sometimes when things get hard. Specifically, I'm getting like there is this wish to just step back. And then we also have the Five of Cups here in the upright. This to me is talking about a great deal of pain. So it does feel like the Divine Masculine aspect here is in so much pain, and that being, of course, emotional pain. Maybe that designates a loss of some kind, maybe a loss of your connection, or a loss with you, a loss of connection with you, or a loss of not having something as quickly as the Divine Masculine would want to have it, but also not knowing how to exactly work on this. All right, so now let's look here at the Divine Feminine aspect. So the Divine Feminine energy, please, Spirit, what's going on here for group number 1? What's going on in the Divine Feminine aspect? We have the Three of Pentacles. This is almost like a wish of wanting to be together, wanting to build something together, but it not really happening. I feel like this is also due to the Divine Feminine being so closed off. What else is going on for group number 1, please, Spirit? For group number 1 here. Okay, we have the King of Swords here. So with the King of Swords, the Divine Feminine is in this energy of clarity, of understanding, but also in the energy of being a little bit cold, of being very closed off, of being very analytical and not approaching things with the heart. With the Eight of Swords here, it does feel like a part of the Divine Feminine is closed off here, is unexpressed. So this closed off energy, this almost unexpressed energy, this is again that energy that I was feeling into, like the essence of the Divine Feminine, that the Divine Feminine aspect is not really putting forward, is not really stepping into. That's the wild woman, the wild, creative, passionate, a female, you know, the nurturing, divine, passionate, and so on, sexual even as well. Here, that aspect is not really expressed. While at the same time, the divine feminine is also in the energy of the Queen of Wands here. So there is some excitement going on here for the divine feminine. It does feel like things are moving or things are shifting here for the divine feminine. There is some type of creation or in some type of manifestation that has come to pass recently that really got your energy up, that really sort of really strongly resonated. Maybe it was an insight or something related to that that really put things in perspective for you guys, because this is quite joyful energy. So even though you are in the energy of being very analytical, being a little bit cold, being a little bit distant and almost dissociated, it does feel like you are still very, very cheerful. You're still very, very happy, or the energy of the divine feminine is very, very happy here. And we have the Page of Wands, which is the beginning of something new. This is very joyful, very childlike energy, the energy of going with the flow, the energy of going where life is currently taking you, and sort of really enjoying life here. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling into here. Let's see, let's get a few more cards now for the divine feminine. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So it does feel like the divine feminine wants to offer something or wants to bring something together in the physical dimension. Maybe you want to grow something together with the divine masculine here. Let's see what else. We have the Moon, but this Moon is now also in the upright position, which is also telling me that you are a little bit confused over your person and over your divine masculine aspect, and also a little bit about your divine feminine aspect here. So yeah, I feel like clarity needs to be achieved through doing some shadow work, which I feel like you do realize, to really recognize the divine feminine, divine masculine side of the coin, like recognizing both of them in a true unified fashion through the experience of oneness. So understanding both of these as aspects within you, as two sides of the same coin here. And this image here, this person being basically down in the depths of water here, it's talking about diving deep into the shadow, but also diving deep into your own sexuality. So really diving deeper into the expression of the divine feminine is what is necessary here, or what spirit is sort of pointing out to me is necessary here. Also more fluidity, more energy of being like water. All of this is going to help you sort of resolve this uncertainty that's coming up for the divine feminine here. It's definitely just the uncertainty of not being acceptive enough, being closed off enough, being in your head too much, you know. Being in your head too much is not allowing you to be more receptive, be more in the feminine energy of nurturance, of being like water, you know, just receiving what comes in and just sort of flowing with what is here. So yes, I feel like some of you might be a little bit I don't know, like resistant to this idea that I just put out, you know, this nurturance, being very receptive to whatever comes up and not being in the position of activity. And this is basically where that energy is out of whack, you know. That energy is a little bit too much in the mind, especially like from the female perspective, from the divine feminine perspective. This energy is very much in the head and not so in the heart, not so in the exact like authentic essence of the divine feminine. All right, so that's it here for the divine feminine side of things. So the confusion is a little bit matched, you know, even though the divine masculine here is in a deeper state of confusion and in quite a lot of emotional, let's say, pain, fear a little bit as well, about not knowing how to act and what to do. There is like a lot of head action here, a lot of like detachment, very mindful observation of things, a little bit of coldness as well, but overall just a very rational approach to things, which is not the essence of the divine feminine. All right, so now let's look at the connecting energy. So what is connecting you two? What is connecting these two aspects, Spirit? Okay, so what is connecting? What is the energy that is connecting the divine feminine and the divine masculine here? Okay, so we have disruption. Yeah, things are not being clear. You are not recognizing the whole of yourself, even within like a specific aspect, let's say the feminine aspect. There is a lot of disruption going on, and also in the divine masculine aspect there is quite a lot of disruption going on, hence the confusion and hence the need to do great shadow work here. So let's see what else, Spirit, please. Divine feminine, divine masculine, connecting energies. We have the universe. Okay, so you are still recognizing the bigger picture here. So there is, I feel like, a lot of understanding that is not completely embodied. So the understanding that both of you hold, so the divine feminine, divine masculine together hold this understanding of what's going on, but it's all in the level of the head. It's happening on the level of the mind, but not on the level of the emotional body, not on the level of the subtle body, not on the level of the physical body. So this integration, this is happening only in the dimension of thought, let's say, in the dimension of the mind, like rational understanding of what's going on, but it's not so much happening in the position of really embodying it and really working with the true authentic bodily and emotional expressions of both of these aspects. Sense the disruption here. Let's see what else, Spirit, please. One more card for group number 1, the connecting energies of the divine feminine, divine masculine here. We have discontent and boredom. So yeah, there is some type of just energy of being a little bit bored with each other, or being bored of the divine masculine or the divine feminine. This is especially when this polarity of the arrows is not so fulfilled, when, for example, you're both in the feminine energies a little bit more, or the masculine energies tend to take over. There is this mismatch that's happening that's causing boredom and just discontent in the two aspects. This also means that you are not expressing your true selves. You're not expressing the castle that's visible here in the background. You're not expressing your true desires that are visible here in the background, but you're turning your head, your back against that, you know? And this is what needs to sort of shift here, I'm getting. You both need, or both of these aspects need to regain more emotional maturity, emotional clarity for this to work out, or for this to establish itself in a different way, for this to sort of bridge this disruption through unity and integration. Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to give you a quick little guidance card. So to whoever is watching this video right now, this is the guidance for you. So the guidance for group number 1, please, Spirit. Okay, so we have Labyrinth upright, and we have Transcendence here reversed. Okay, so let's look at Labyrinth here first of all. Labyrinth is coming up in the upright position. So basically, Labyrinth coming up in the upright means that you are in a space of confusion currently. You are uncertain and you lack full understanding, and the path is unclear. At this time, you do not make any decisions, okay? So find a way to relax completely into a state that is as still as possible. Do not make any impulsive or rash decisions on this point, and also do not let yourself be pressured into making any decisions on this point. Waiting is the way to let the situation reveal itself so that your course of action becomes clearer. And also remember that you should not waste your time looking for straight paths in life. All roads ultimately lead to the very same place, okay? So whatever it is that you're doing, it's all going to lead you to the very same place. But now is the time to not make any decisions, okay? Now is the time to relax completely and be as still as possible so that you gain understanding, so that these aspects of you can also come up and reveal themselves more fully to you. Now is the time to stop overthinking, stop thinking so much about these things. Okay, so we also have transcendence here. Transcendence is coming up in the reversed position. So transcendence basically in reversed, it means that you are simply delaying the necessary destruction in your life currently. This is quite a harsh message, I have to say, because there is a need for some type of a crumbling or some type of a tower moment to occur in your life. You are being called to go through this challenging time in order to learn an important lesson that will serve to build an even better life. So the guidance here is basically to not resist it, because it's ultimately leading you to an even better life, okay? So even though it is shocking and hard to deal with, it's a very important part of your life's journey or this life's journey. And while you consciously want change and transformation, you are afraid of these two things as well. You know that change and transformation may bring with it destruction and pain, and thus you are resisting it. In order to create the big change you are seeking, you need to go through a period of discomfort. It is natural to feel discomfort and pain. So you are not alone in that. All of us feel that. I feel that as well. So have some compassion for yourself. Have a lot of compassion for yourself, you guys. You will not be at your best during this transition. That is something to be aware of. But now is the time to think outside the box and think big. The stakes are high and it is risky territory, but if you really want to achieve the scale of change and you aspire to, then you need to take some risk. The good news is, if you have drawn this card in reverse, if this card comes up in reverse, keep your eyes open, because it is likely that you will be forewarned, or you may have an intuitive sense that something major is about to happen. And you can therefore plan in advance and minimize the impact of the destruction that is going to lie ahead. But let the collapse come, okay, and build something entirely new from the beauty and gifts that remain in the aftermath. All right, so transcendence here. This is a very powerful message. It is nevertheless necessary. I feel like feeling into the energies coming up in this group here. So I hope this brings you some clarity, some understanding, a deeper knowing of what you can do next and where you can move towards next, okay? If you feel like you need a little bit more guidance, feel free to contact me as well, my beautiful group number 1. And that's all I have for you today. I'm wishing you a beautiful day. I'm wishing you all the best on your continued life and love journey. If you like this video, do let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And if you liked it, make sure to like, subscribe, also turn on the notification bell if you haven't already, so that you can be notified when new videos come out on this channel. Other than that, I'm wishing you all the best on your continued love, light, love journey. And I'm hoping to connect with you again in another one of my videos. Bye, everyone. Mwah. Hello, beautiful group number 2. If you picked the rose quartz crystal here, or if something else entirely led you to this tarot reading today, this is going to be your reading into the divine feminine and divine masculine energies and the connecting energies. So as said in the introduction, you can approach this video as looking at parts within you, so the divine feminine within you, the divine masculine within you, and the connecting energies between the two aspects, or you can approach this as something in the external world, as current energy that you're holding if you identify with either feminine or masculine, and the energy of your person who is exhibiting the polarity of what you are currently identifying as. Okay, you can also approach this as both dimensions, so you can look at the parts within you and also as that is expressing itself in the external world here. Okay, because the within, what is within is without, what's within is also mirrored in the external world, so things are not as separate as we sometimes see them from our human perspective. So let's get into it. We're going to be looking at the archetypes first of all. So the divine feminine, divine masculine archetypes, what's coming up here first of all for both energies and for the connecting energies. So let's get into it. So please, Spirit, the divine feminine energy, what's going on in the divine feminine energy? We have the orphan showing up, and we have here the unseen. All right, one more card please for the divine feminine energy, the divine feminine aspect. What's going on for group number 2 here? What's going on here for group number 2, please, Spirit, for the divine feminine aspect or the divine feminine energy here, please? And we have here the Father. Interesting energy. Interesting. Okay. Let's see now for the divine masculine side of things. What's going on here? What's going on for the divine masculine? It's a little bit too much here. Let's see what's going on for the divine masculine side of things here, please, Spirit. What's going on from the divine masculine? Wow, we have the King here. The energy of the King. So from the divine masculine side of things, what's going on here? We have the Lover. Wow, beautiful. So the divine masculine here is coming up very, very beautifully, I must say. Okay, so we also have the Warrior showing up. I feel like the divine masculine here is definitely coming up as very beautiful energy. Let's look at the connecting energy now, and then let's look into the reading as a whole. So the connecting energy, please, Spirit, for group number 2, the connecting energy for divine masculine, divine feminine here. We have the River. There are some motifs of the horse here. Maybe some of you resonate with horse as your spirit animal, or altogether just have a strong connection to the horses, to that animal. Okay, so we have here the Prayer showing up as connecting energies, and one more card please, Spirit, for the connecting energies. And we have the Vessel. Wow, very powerful card of the Vessel. All right, so we have the Crown as the bottom deck energy. This to me feels like you two are really guided by Spirit with the Crown. The Crown is an animal of prophecy, and I feel like this whole connection, this whole development of these two aspects or these two polarities of the divine feminine, divine masculine are developing in a manner that is true to what Source wants it to be, or true to also your development as to human beings on this earth. This is all going according to plan, Spirit wants to tell you. So if you have been doubting that, if you have been questioning yourself, it is all going according to plan here. It's all developing as it should. With the Orphan here, there is, with the divine feminine aspect, a feeling of lack, or a feeling of wanting something more, a feeling of wanting to have some more love or some more connection. There feels like there is a feeling of abandonment here, or a feeling that like the inner child or something connecting to the childhood of the divine feminine here is suffering. I feel like this might be some type of a trauma or something that has been happening in the divine feminine's childhood. It might be a wound of the inner child here as well. With the father showing up here, it might also be something related to the father. So some type of trauma relating to the father. Maybe the father left for some of you, or was it more absent, was not as involved in your lives as you would have wished. And there is that love or that attention that's sort of lacking here. Maybe that stability that's also sort of lacking here. But altogether, I feel like the divine feminine aspect, it's coming up as very serene, as very gentle, as very allowing. So it's very, very approachable. It's very gentle. It feels very soft. It feels like it has a little bit of sadness within itself. So sadness due to childhood, sadness due to maybe traumatizing events that have transpired in the past here. There is some wish for more comfort. There is a wish to have a more stable outer shell, that someone would provide more stability, more comfort to you here. There is this sort of asking, this wish, this desire for that to happen, which is sort of like a desire that has been transmitted here to the divine masculine. And the divine masculine side of things, it's here coming up as the king, you know, as someone who has things figured out, someone who is very powerful. But the king is also someone who is very emotionally mature, or at least mature in an overall sense of the word, you know. The king is someone who is very thoughtful. The king is someone who is emotionally available. The king is also someone who is very thoughtful in terms of practical things. The king is thoughtful in terms of how to communicate things, how to communicate and sort of bridge the gap between the heart and the mind here. So I feel like with the king, this is the feeling of the energy being very grounded, but the energy also being very loving with the lover card. With the swan card, this person considers the divine feminine aspect, or the divine masculine aspect considers the divine feminine aspect to be very beautiful, to be very courageous, to be very gentle. And the divine masculine wants to step up as sort of like a protector aspect, as someone who is there for the divine feminine, as someone who takes care of the divine feminine here with the warrior card. The divine masculine sees itself as very hard, as very strong, as very much being able to take on the world here and to take care of the divine feminine. So it's a very beautiful energy here overall, because the divine feminine here does feel like it needs some more support, some more care, some more nurturance. And it is very open to receiving that. And here the divine masculine wants to step up and sort of express the love for that energy, be there for the person emotionally, just protect them, love them, offer emotional and physical security as well. All right, so yeah, with the prayer here, I feel like you are both really wishing for something more to happen between you two, or for there to be more connection, or there to be some type of evolvement here. But also this feels like the answer has been already planted within you, or things are already shifting within you. What is needed is just this necessity to allow the energy that's coming your way, allow your desires to be expressed here, is what I'm getting. With the river, there is an energy of going with the flow, of understanding yourselves as part of a greater whole here. So it feels like the divine feminine aspect and the divine masculine aspect, you're both really understanding yourselves as basically just the expression of the divine, expression of the higher self, or expressions of spirit, of source here, expressions of God, however you want to put it. You're both understanding yourselves as only vessels of energies. You're seeing your bodies as vessels of energies through which you can act and help other beings, help other spirits, other parts of yourself achieve greatness and achieve greater awakening and understanding of themselves. So this is altogether very beautiful energy. There seems to be a flow between you two here, even though like the feminine feels like it's a little bit hurt by something. The divine masculine does want to offer support and love. So the aspect of the divine feminine does need to work on, for some of you, on the area of allowing this love to come nearer, allowing this love to come closer, allowing this warrior, this holding of the space, this sort of strong masculine energy of the king here to come closer and to offer that stability and that love, which it obviously really wants to do, and it's very guided to do here. All right, so let's now look at the divine feminine side of things. So what's going on here in the divine feminine through tarot? So what's going on, Spirit, please, from the divine feminine perspective for group number one, group number two, sorry, for the group number two, so for the divine feminine energy. So we have here the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is like a releasement to whatever is going to happen. The divine feminine is in the energy of waiting, of just waiting for things to happen to it, and sort of being, I feel like, evoked in certain ways, and it feels like there is light showering down on the divine feminine. There is a deeper understanding within the divine feminine that she is currently tapping into. She is realizing that there is more to her than just this physical expression. There is more to her than just pain, and there is more to her than just feeling. There is also love, there is also enjoyment, there is also self-love that she can tap into here and allow herself to ask for and allow herself to receive here. There is a great energy of receiving love from spirit and receiving love from the divine masculine energy. So let's see what else comes up for the divine feminine, please, Spirit. What else? So, okay, this one. So we have the Ace of Wands. The divine feminine is also in a very fiery energy. It's in the energy of creation. It's in the energy of expressing passion. It's in an energy of strong sexual drive, strong sexuality, but also in a strong energy of manifesting something. The energy of the spider, it's almost like, you know, an aspect of material life coming down from source when the spider sort of comes down with its web. So it feels like that, you know, the divine feminine is recognizing itself as part of the divine and is almost like realizing its power. It's realizing this empowerment that it holds in this human expression as part of the divine here. So let's see if there's anything else. Spirit doesn't want me to put out anything else. We do have love here, so the divine feminine is definitely in the energy of unconditional love towards everything around it here as well. Okay, so let's now look at the divine masculine side of things. What's going on here from the divine masculine side of things? All right, so Spirit, please, for the divine masculine for group number 2. Okay. Whoop. That was quick. All right, so we have strength here. We have the 5 of Swords reversed, and we have the 2 of Swords here. With these energies, it feels like the divine masculine is trying to decide something. Maybe it's trying to decide how to step forward and what to do. There is some confusion here in the space of the mind concerning what should be done, what shouldn't be done, or at least this was there in the past and is now being bridged through some type of decision making. So some type of decision making between the two energies or between the two paths is currently happening on the level of the divine masculine or in that dimension here. So let's see what else. We have the strength here. The divine masculine is definitely trying to step up from a position of strength, step up from a position of emotional maturity, emotional resilience, just being very loving towards itself and towards other aspects of itself. We did have the lover here, we did have king, we have the warrior here, and this is all in one basically, you know, this expression of the strength card. It's about taking charge, it's about keeping your energy intact, keeping it beautiful, keeping it flowing, but you know, not holding it back, but not holding it or not allowing it to spill out too much, or not allowing it to become too intense or too much here for the divine feminine aspect specifically. So this human, they are, or this aspect, they are allowing themselves to be more loving, more gentle, and being very contained in their energy, not being too much, not being too assuming, not being too active in their pursuit, but also sort of playing the balance, keeping a harmony here between their urges and their more gentler aspects here. We have the devil here, so there are definitely urges coming up for this person. Feels like there is a strong sexual desire here for you with this devil card coming through. It feels like this is also very influenced by the past energies of this person. So whatever they were in the past before they started their evolvement here, this person was a little bit more sexual, a little bit more, you know, just following into their own desire, just really following without thinking too much into what they were doing. And that energy is still a little bit playing out in the background here, but they are trying to be very mature, they're trying to be very reasonable, they're trying to really approach things from more open space of the heart, and not so much just with the lower regions of their own body, meaning sexuality, meaning sexual desire here. So they are really trying to be very grounded through this dance of their desire and wanting to still have a strong emotional connection, strong intimate connection here. With the Page of Pentacles now, this is like a new energy, or something new is coming up for this person, something new is developing for the divine masculine energy here, pardon. So yeah, this new thing that is developing, it feels like it's holding a lot of promise, and it feels like the divine masculine doesn't really have a full grasp upon it yet. But it is still nevertheless there. The energy, this new cycle, is a part of the field of the divine masculine, but it is not yet fully embedded in the area of the mind, or in the area of understanding what it is or what it represents here. It's just in the area of feeling into it here. We have the Knight of Pentacles as well as the bottom deck energy. This is making me feel like this is all moving slowly, especially from the divine masculine perspective here. It's a slow movement. It's a slow coming closer to the divine feminine here. It feels like the divine feminine might be a little bit restless in her energy concerning the divine masculine here, but the divine masculine does feel like they don't want to mess things up. They don't want to come in and, you know, trigger the divine feminine in any way. They want to come in correctly, and they don't want to assume that something is there for the divine feminine as it is for the divine masculine here. So the divine masculine is really trying to approach things in a very sort of solid manner, in a snail-paced position. So if you resonate with snail piles, this is your pile again. So sorry about that, my beautiful group number 2, but yeah, the divine feminine does feel like it's very receptive, which is allowing the divine masculine to step up more, but it is all evolving very, very slowly here. Okay, so let's see what else comes up. Let's see what is going on here from the two of you, from the connecting energies. So what's going on from the connecting energies here, Spirit? Please, for group number 2, what are the connecting energies? We have the 9 of Pentacles. So both of these aspects are feeling like they are held by Spirit, like they are guided by Spirit with all of these beautiful feathers, white feathers, sort of snuggling these pentacles, the human bodily expressions here. It feels like this connection is very abundant. There seems to be a lot of love and a lot of appreciation here, a lot of gratefulness for each other, or for each other's aspect here, a lot of love. We have the 3 of Wands here, so there is a wish for further excitement on both sides, further evolvement, further expansion, and further sort of gaining of awareness further from both of these sides. So the divine feminine, divine masculine, they both want to learn together. They're both feeling very secure with each other as well here, I'm feeling. And we have here the Daughter of Swords, so with the Page of Swords. It feels like both the divine feminine, divine masculine are thinking about each other, are keeping the other in their own minds, but nothing solid has been communicated yet from this perspective. There's just like the idea of maybe thinking about it, but also wanting to be very wise about this whole situation, wise towards oneself, wise towards the other person, and wise towards what would it mean if there were a union between both of these energies, if these energies were to come together, what that would mean. So there is a wish for wisdom, a wish to act clearly from both of these sides here. And now we have also the Wheel of Fortune. With the Wheel of Fortune, this again is telling me about this being like a union that is guided by Spirit. So everything is happening in divine timing. It feels like both of you, or both of the aspects, the divine feminine and divine masculine, are aware of this. Even if you do sometimes need to be reminded, the human expression does sometimes need to be reminded that everything is happening according to plan. Everything is going as planned and as directed here. So overall, very beautiful energy of connection happening on the divine masculine, divine feminine plane here. So what I want to do now is I just want to give you and finish up this reading with some guidance. So to whoever is watching this reading, this group, here is some guidance for you. We're going to be getting some frequency tarot cards and then giving you guidance from what these cards mean or what they relate to. So for group number 2 in general, to whoever is watching this video, please Spirit, what's the guidance for them? What's the guidance for them currently, please Spirit? What's the guidance for them currently, please Spirit? What's the guidance for them? What's the guidance for them currently? For group number 2, please. For group number 2, what's the guidance for group number 2? Okay. So we have joy. Beautiful energy. Whenever joy comes up, it's just such a joy. So yeah, joy, joy, joy. Let's see. I'll just show it to you. So joy. The card is 29 here, so the energy of joy or the frequency of joy. This card came up upright for you guys, so this basically means it is time to get back in touch with your joy, an exalted state of happiness and inner contentment. The worry, pessimism, and pain in your life have to be put on the back burner long enough for you to feel some sense of joy. So your soul needs to take a deep breath in, and the way it does that is through positive feeling emotions. Do something today just because it feels good. This is a call to awaken your inner child again. This is a call to really just come back in contact with that child that you have within yourself. Just do something for the sheer sake of doing it, just because it feels good, just because you enjoy it, to keep that touch with your childlike self here. And that's all I have for you today, my beautiful group number 2. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Don't forget to like the video. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell if you don't have it on, so that you can be notified when I post another video. And if you want a personal video from me, a private personal tarot reading with me, all the information about that is listed in the description box below this video. Other than that, I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being present, for being available today for this reading, and I'm hoping to connect with you again through another one of my videos in the future. Bye. Mwah. Hello, my beautiful group number 3. So if you have picked this beautiful raw citrine crystal, this is going to be your video today for your divine feminine, divine masculine interplay. So basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to be approaching these energies through 3 columns. So first is going to be the divine feminine aspect, then the divine masculine aspect over here, and the divine connecting energies on the middle. As I said in the introduction, you can approach this reading in 3 ways. So you can approach these parts as parts within you, as what they want to communicate to you to bring more integration. You can approach the situation as something that's going outside of you, between you and another person, or you can approach this as both of these together, so you can approach this as what's going on within and as the reflection that's happening on the outside, which is necessarily and usually the reflection of what's going on inside. So what's inside, it's also outside, reflected to us, so that we can come to a better awareness about what's going on the inside. So that's basically the interplay that's going on here. So yeah, with that being said, take this reading as it resonates, as it is most comfortable for you, at its most natural to you. Here I'm going to be using the words divine feminine energy, divine masculine energy, but do take that as it resonates for you guys. So if you resonate with divine masculine, you can understand that as parts within you, and if you resonate with divine feminine, you can understand that as parts within you, and then your person as the polarity of your energy. All right, so first of all, we're going to be looking at the divine feminine energy here. We're going to be using the archetype deck here. So let's see, for the divine feminine, please Spirit, for group number 3, what's going on with the divine feminine aspect here. So we have the prayer showing up for the divine feminine. Let's get one more. Okay, so we have here the offering, interesting, the divine feminine offering. We have the crone. Okay, wonderful energy, very beautiful. It feels like the divine feminine energy here is wanting to manifest something, is wanting to offer something. It's wanting to give something to the world, or give something to the divine masculine energy here. The divine feminine is in a position of a lot of maturity, a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding, and a lot of guidance. So the divine feminine here is really settled in her own knowledge, is really settled in her own self, in her own guidance, in her own understanding. It feels very, very grounded. It feels very, strong in the roots. It feels like the roots are so deep that no matter how hard the wind blows around her, this divine feminine is strongly settled in her own power here, okay? The divine feminine here is working with nature. I'm feeling with this offering there is a deep commitment, a deep connection here with nature, and a deep sort of working together with nature to also create and manifest the life that the divine feminine desires here. So there is a great deal of empowerment in the divine feminine aspect, a great deal of reliance on her own wisdom, which is her true power, and she is aware of that in this group here. And overall, this is an energy of really being in the feminine, being reliant on one's own intuition, on one's own power, on one's own empowerment, sort of bringing empowerment out of that intuition, out of that single intuitive knowing, out of those gut feelings, and out of that inner wisdom that the divine feminine holds here. So very, very beautiful. And then allowing oneself, or allowing the divine feminine to go out into the world, let's say, and create that, to manifest what she wants, to manifest and bring those desires to fruition. All right, so the divine feminine is a strong feminine energy overall, in a strong position of empowerment here and manifestation and reliance on herself, her own truth, her own gifts, her own wisdom. All right, so now let's look at the divine masculine polarity, divine masculine side. For group number 3, please, Spirit. So the divine masculine side of things. What's going on from the divine masculine side here? Okay, we have village showing up for the divine masculine. We have here the kiss, all very beautiful, for the divine masculine. And we have the mentor for the divine masculine. Okay, so the energy, we have the healer as the bottom deck energy, very beautiful. The energy of the divine masculine here is mirroring the divine feminine very beautifully. I am getting in a strong energy of healing here through connecting with this divine masculine. The divine masculine here is recognizing the importance of connections with other people. This is the divine masculine that's very sort of empowered, very open, very much in the process of really rising up and developing itself into something very, very beautiful, something that's both strong and soft at the same time. So this is sort of like that feeling of having one's heart open, and at the same time being very strong, being in the position of holding space for others, allowing the other people to rely upon you for things, and finding greatness, finding pleasure in that. The divine masculine feels like he is in the position of wanting to offer other people stability, wanting to offer the divine feminine part of himself stability here as well. The divine masculine here is wanting to connect with other beings, but wanting to connect with other beings through this expression of who he is, through the expression of bringing something to other people, doing something for other people here, providing space, providing insurance, providing security for other people, providing like an open space for other people to create in that area that the divine masculine has provided. So overall, a very beautiful expression here of the divine masculine energies. With the kiss, this divine masculine does want to engage in something deeper with you. This divine masculine wants to connect with the divine feminine more than has been done so far. That there wants to be a more physical connection. I'm feeling there wants to be like more holding, more touching energy. We have the hands here, so yeah, more touching, definitely, but overall more intimacy, more understanding. The divine masculine here wants to listen to the divine feminine, listen to what divine feminine wants to have, what the divine feminine needs. This divine masculine is here in a position to serve. Also, yeah, with the mentor coming through here, they are in the position to serve, wanting to create and do something for the divine feminine, wanting to open up the space of love between the two aspects, and wanting to sort of hold that space of grounding, this almost like a house that the divine feminine can then fill with her own beauty. That's sort of like the empowerment that the divine masculine is in here. And overall, a very beautiful expression of the divine masculine here, I have to say. This is like a beginning. The Divine Masculine is wishing for something more, a new beginning, a new unfolding in this relationship, but a very gentle, soft, beautiful unfolding with the kiss here. Sort of like a peck on the cheek, a kiss on the lips. Nothing too passionate, just some very beautiful, heart-opening love is what I'm feeling into here. All right, so the Divine Masculine is also in the position of being sort of a strong mentor character, wanting to help other people, wanting to help the aspect of the Divine Feminine gain clarity, gain guidance. They want to be sort of like a conversational partner to the Divine Feminine. They want to get to know the Divine Feminine better, but they also want to offer their own gifts, their own holding of space, their own resources, their providing energy, their wish to provide something which they can provide. Maybe that's knowledge, maybe that's understanding, maybe that's an insight that they can provide here for the Divine Feminine. Overall, the Divine Masculine here is in the position of stepping forward, in a position of action, which is really in the alignment with the Divine Masculine energies overall, in the position of being very open to people, but at the same time being like a little bit sort of detached, but in holding space for other people here with the village here. But overall, this Divine Masculine is wanting intimacy, is wanting love and connection here. So let's see what's happening on the connecting energies. Okay, so we have the bridge. How beautiful for the connecting energies. So the bridge card here, and we have Thanatos. Very interesting. So some type of deep internal searching here, a drive towards death even, is showing up here with Thanatos. So let's see if something else wants to come through here. We have the Sustainer, wanting to take care of one another here with this card. This card feels to me as though, you know, the Divine Masculine wants to sort of hold the Divine Feminine in a safe cocoon so that the Divine Feminine can express itself and bloom in its entirety here. There wants to be some type of an interconnectedness, a coupling, a connection established on both sides. So both her and his side wants connection and is desiring this connection to unfold. With Thanatos, it does feel like there is some deeper searching here, or some deeper wishing to understand some things from both sides. Maybe something about this connection is not entirely clear, and there seems to be some type of like blind spot or something that's still not been almost like illuminated by the light. There is something that's still looming in this connection that needs to be brought to the light, that needs to be brought to the sun, that needs to be basically understood. And this is like the urge, like a deep unsymbolized urge, something that has not been articulated from both of the aspects. It's like a deep urge of wanting to understand something deeper about one's own existence, one's own being on this planet through this connection. It's like a wish to establish something deeper here, a wish to understand why you are here together and what you can learn from one another here on a really deep sort of spiritual level of just being who you are. So trying to understand your own being here is what wants to be expressed, wants to be brought to the sunlight, basically. Maybe even your own, how shall I say this, like purpose on this earth, what you came here to do, your gifts. That is what you're both sort of leaning towards, wanting to understand better, wanting to illuminate in oneself and also in the other part of you here. Okay, so now let's look at what is going on here on the Divine Feminine side of things with the tarot deck. So what's happening on the Divine Feminine side of things, please, Spirit? What's happening on the Divine Feminine side? So we have Strength card. Yeah, the Divine Feminine is learning strength through emotional love, through opening her heart towards the world. The Divine Feminine is learning how to approach beasts either within or outside, with stability, with groundedness, with love, and with appreciation. So everything that the Divine Feminine is doing, it's basically through this strong position of love, through strong emotional intelligence, through strong boundaries and strong understanding of herself here. She is in a position of healing other people as well, I'm getting here, either directly or indirectly. But yeah, this is just a beautiful expression again of the Divine Feminine aspect. And we have the Hermit. So the Divine Feminine is searching within. She is searching for knowledge within herself. This is resonating strongly with this Thanatos, like wanting to observe, wanting to know more about herself, her own psyche, her own expression of the divine, her own being here. This is like a strong spiritual seeker that I'm feeling into with this Hermit card. Someone who wants to understand more, someone who wants to know, someone who wants to create, someone who wants to, have more and more deeper and deeper awareness about herself and about everything in the world as well. Right, so let's see now for the Divine Masculine energies. For the Divine Masculine energies, we're going to be using the Divine Masculine Tarot deck here. So let's see what's going on. So Spirit, please, for group number 3, for the Divine Masculine energies, what's going on here? Okay, so the Divine Masculine is in the position of wanting to share something, or the Divine Masculine has been thinking of sharing something with the Divine Feminine or with the world here, but it's not entirely clear what this thing is that the Divine Masculine wants to say. It is like a hunch, like a gist, like an idea, like a feeling, an awareness of something, but this is not yet fully conceptualized in this expression of the Divine Masculine. It's like an idea, something that needs to be expressed, something that wants to be expressed, but not fully sort of conceptualized, not fully articulated in this being currently. With the Keeper of Cups, it feels like there is some struggling here on the emotional connectedness level. There feels like there is a little bit of detachment coming from the Divine Masculine energy. This is like the detachment that this part doesn't necessarily recognize as detachment, but is nevertheless there. There is no full connectedness. There is no full sort of stepping in to the connection. There is still something that's like keeping one leg out of the river and one leg in, basically. It feels like that. So there is no full, almost like coupling, or no full connectedness to what is happening on all levels, on the Divine Feminine level as well here, and on the whole collective level that this Divine Masculine is connected to. There is some type of intuitive knowledge here that is lacking. Intuitive knowledge is often almost like translated in more intellectual knowledge here for the Divine Masculine, but the true like emotional intuitive knowledge is lacking a little bit, I'm feeling here. So let's see now what's happening on both of these levels. So what is happening here on both of these levels? I'm wanting to do something different here. I'm wanting to give the Moonology deck a try here for this group. I don't know why, but I'm just really drawn to this group, to this deck for this group basically. So let's see. For group number 3, what are the connecting energies here? What are the connecting energies between the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine connecting energies? Okay, so we have be bold and make the first move. I feel like you're both wanting to be very bold, wanting to be very empowered and step towards one another here. We have worked through your fears. Yeah, work through your fears, Scorpio energy. Along with this Thanatos, there is something that needs to be uncovered here. So you're both really aware that you do need to do some more internal work, or you need to just work on your own things, while at the same time sort of keeping the other person within your life here. Just that from the divine masculine perspective, this does mean that there is like a little bit of detachment here still, because they are not, you know, putting both legs here into the river, into the situation. We have hold your vision, fixed moon. So you're both really holding your vision on who you are, on this connection of what you want. So your vision is set on this connection, is set on manifesting it, is set on bringing it to fruition. That's both of you here, both of your energies. Then we have show the world the real you. This is the full moon in Aquarius. This is about expressing your true authenticity, your true authentic power, which you both want to step into more and more, which is also Thanatos here, you know, wanting to know more about yourself, wanting to bring more awareness to parts of you that are still in the shadow, and wanting to sort of evolve through that to become the best versions of yourselves here, become the most authentic versions of yourselves. And then we have believe in the impossible blue moon showing up for you as well. This card is basically, you know, knowing that you are going to create integration, create union together. Believe in the impossible is also this knowledge that something very beautiful is going to come out of this connection, is going to come out of this whole cycle, this whole existence that you are currently in. So you believe that you can have everything. You both believe, you are both very much, you know, sort of grounded, deeply rooted in the knowing that you can achieve anything, and you can achieve and have anything that you desire on this earth. It's a strong feeling of self-worth here as well. We have balanced spirituality and practicality as the bottom of the deck energy, which is again really resonating with this group I'm feeling, because I'm feeling like you're both very spiritual, like the divine masculine, divine masculine, divine feminine here. You're both very spiritual, but you're also very practical in your endeavors in life, you know. So you're not just in your head sort of flowy, you know, wishy-washy, going whichever way you wish. You are also very grounded. You're both very settled in your own space, in your own being here. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to give you a final guidance card. This guidance card, this is going to be just for the person listening. So whoever is watching this video currently, the group number 3 collective, this is going to be the guidance for you. This is not necessarily guidance for these specific situations that you're currently dealing with. It can be, but it is like general guidance for you, for where you're currently finding yourself on your life path. All right, so let's see what we get. We are going to be using the frequency tarot cards for this one. So let's see, for group number 3, Spirit, what do they need to see? What is guidance for group number 3? We have meditation here, okay? So is there anything else maybe? Spirit is saying that meditation is enough here. So let's see, that's the number 36. Just trying to sit a little bit differently because I'm a little bit uncomfortable. So let's see, number 36 here for meditation. Okay, so meditation, this card upright, it basically means you would benefit by meditation in any of its various forms at this moment. With the hectic pace and demands of modern life, many people feel very stressed, unclear, and also overworked. So sounds familiar, right? And by training your mind to basically induce a desired state of consciousness during meditation, you will soon change your perception entirely. Mindfulness is very crucial for you at this time in your life, Spirit also wants to say. So try out every type of meditation that calls to you in order to find the ones that work for you the best. So that can be like a meditation where you listen to something, like a guided meditation. It can be like a 5-minute seated meditation before you wake up and before you go to bed. You can find a variety of different meditations on the internet, on YouTube. Also, Solvana is something, Mind Valley has some beautiful meditations that you can tap into if you're called to do that. And basically, this card is also calling you to make a daily habit out of this meditation, okay? Mindfulness and meditation is very crucial for you at this time. Maybe this is also something that's going to allow you to balance spirituality and practicality and just be more in touch with yourself here. Alright, so that's all I have for you today, my beautiful group number 3. Thank you so much for listening, for being here, for connecting your energy to mine today. Thank you for being available and for being present. Also, don't forget to like the video. Also, make sure to have your notification bell turned on if you want to have yourself notified when I post another video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, and comment if you would like to share something with our beautiful community. Other than that, I'm wishing you a wonderful day, all the best, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again through another one of my videos. Bye everyone.